Welcome to Chabot College in Hayward, California, the home of two playoff-level basketball teams. This year, the highly rated programs return and hope to bring a state championship to the Bay. Chabot College's 55th annual Gladiator Classic returns now. Chabot College Gladiators and Diablo Valley College Vikings playing their first game of the season here at the 55th Annual Gladiator Classic. I'm Levi Flores with NorCal Sports TV, our producer Jason Green, and the rest of our crew here to bring you more Gladiator basketball. But first, the national anthem. Yesterday, the Chabot College Gladiators won their first game of the season. They're 1-0 against Reedley, a 90-66 victory. And in that game, Diggy Winbush was one of the big players, a returning player for Chabot. He had 14 points on 62.5% field goal percentage, including 3 rebounds, 3 steals, and here's the biggest part, 8 assists. The team only had 23 assists in total, and Diggy Winbush had 8 of those. But the biggest player overall for the Gladiators in that first game was number 20, David Hector, who came in from City College. And David Hector, 10 points, not the highest leading scorer, but it's the rest of the stat line that really matters. 10 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, and on top of that, 0 fouls. I don't know how a man could get 5 steals with 0 fouls, but somehow David Hector found a way to do so. For the Diablo Valley Vikings, their last game was yesterday against Ohlone College, and they took a loss 84-75, which was a 9-point loss. So they look to get their first win of the season here tonight. For them, Malik Edwards had 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, but he also had 7 turnovers on the stat line too. Joaquin Orpizo is the biggest player in their first game. He had 7 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 4 steals, and he did have 3 turnovers, but 4 assists, 4 steals, a great facilitator, and scores when he needs to. Unfortunately for the Vikings, they got outplayed in all categories except for 3-point percentage and assists, but they only out-assisted the Ohlone team by 3, so it was pretty equal in that regard. Today they want to limit turnovers. They want to possibly shoot less threes, but coach said they want to shoot more since they're on fire this weekend. But we'll see how that comes into effect against this Gladiator defense. Also, use the big guys, especially on defense. It's going to be a big factor tonight. They have 3 players that have 6'4" in height and 2 players at 6'7", but the Chabot Gladiators have a large roster of size that they can take advantage of this Viking team. As we get started, more to come from the coaches. Coach of the Gladiators, he's not satisfied yet despite taking a big victory in the first game. He wants to see more assists, and he wants to keep moving the ball and get good shots. On the other hand, for the Vikings, coach told me that they need to maintain the boards because the last time they played, they got out-rebounded by a lot. It was the 3rd highest rebounding game for the Gladiators, and it was early on in the season. Along with that, they don't want a high score. They want to limit the possessions and only allow Chabot to get 1 shot or maybe less, get a turnover and stop them from even getting the ball up in the air. With that, he wants to see Kamani Grace get more into the game as he didn't have the biggest game yesterday, and starting off with the travel for the Gladiators. 2 20-minute halves coming your way in the Diablo Valley Vikings under a newer coach, Coach Emilio. If you're watching, and we know that you are, longtime Diablo Valley coach. I remember my first time with NorCal Sports TV. Diablo Valley was playing Columbia College in Columbia as we have another travel under the basket. But my workers told me to go over there, talk to Coach Emilio, and he told me it's coach to you. It's Coach Emilio. So that's a fun story from the legend and Hall of Famer himself. As the Gladiators look to score first, and this one goes high up off the backboard and drops through for number 20, David Hector. It's the first points in the game. Hector, the sophomore player for the Gladiators, as this one, yes, knocks it through, a deep shot, counted for 2. "16-footer bounces off and rebounded by the Vikings. Coach told me he wants to get more rebounds, and they're starting off doing that well now. I mentioned Kamani Grace. He got that first bucket for the Vikings, but the previous game against Ohlone College, he only had 2, and here's an offensive foul. This will be placed on 33, Osamanu Nuhu, the sophomore player who had 4 points and 4 rebounds yesterday. That is the first foul, and it is offensive. Referees not playing around here. Great job by the defense, planting their feet and taking the contact. Here's Winbush from the right wing, looking down low, using that height. 1-on-2, split the defenders, couldn't get the bounce. Batted back away, Gladiators inside the paint, trying to get around Nuhu. Doesn't get the bounce, back underneath. Gladiators strong on the offensive boards. DJ Howard taking advantage, and they're up by 2. Diablo Valley looking good here in the start. 3 from the right wing goes strong, and Kamani Grace has the entire bench of the Vikings up on their feet because they know he's going to get hot, and he gets hot quick. Turn around, puts it up, back iron. Another offensive rebound for the Gladiators, and finally called for the jump between David Agunlai and number 24, Nico Kiefer, in there. He's a sophomore player for the Vikings who had 2 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist yesterday. The Gladiators showing a little bit of full court press, just putting that pressure on the point guard, bringing it down. That's Malik Edwards. Edwards being traveled behind all the way down the court, and that shot no good. Gladiators on the move. Winbush finds the man in motion, doesn't get the roll. And the Vikings will get possibly fouled here, and the Vikings will have it from the sideline. Or they'll let this play out and give it to the Gladiators. On that drive, DJ Howard. DJ Howard was going up to the rack, and he was more focused on the contact than the basket itself. And I didn't say that earlier on, but it was in my notes. You need to focus on that basket as we have another jump ball. Focus on the basket and not focus on the foul. Just keep your eyes on that hoop and get that ball through the hole. If the foul comes, you'll be shooting for one more. But the Gladiators have missed out on quite a few points because of that. Here is another jump ball, and the Gladiators get this one with the alternating possession. Winbush sends a man deep down the court, flicks it inside to DJ Howard. Driving, Hector inside, off the glass, gets the bounce and the foul. Set him to the free throw line for one more. David Hector continues his dominating streak. And a few substitutions already. Diablo Valley sends in number 3, Joaquin Orpiza. And Hector gets the and one, puts it through. That's 5 points within the opening minutes. Oh, and that's 5 seconds. Diablo Valley on an unnecessary turnover. Gives it right back to the Chabot Gladiators underneath the basket. We saw a few times yesterday, if you joined Chris Babcock in the booth, the Gladiators run a simple play and get a man open down low. They have the height, and they can use it very easily. And the block! Give it to him, Takin Osumano Nuhu. Speaking of Chris Babcock, look at the Wilson burger. Nuhu got in here, straight up and down, no foul, swatted away. Now the Gladiators with 7 on the shot clock, need to get rid of it. Gives it up to Winbush on the wing, 3 to shoot now. Winbush, triple, no. Oh, nearly got the putback jam, but it comes off to the Vikings rebound. Three on the way, looks good, is good. Throws the arc, gets the bullseye. Malik Edwards, 3 points and brings it back to a 2-point game. Winbush slipped out of his hands here, and Edwards got in between the ball and his arms. He'll be the last to touch it, so the Gladiators will get the ball back underneath. Substitution for the Chabot Gladiators, Lorenzo Abelar comes in for Winbush and a few extras. 4-player substitution for the Gladiators early in the first half. Thomas Gurma, David Hector stays out there. Makayo Mims and Jaden Rivera, the 5 on the court for the Gladiators. Abelar moving, kicking, nearly taken. 3 on the way. Boom! Got it! Fresh into the game, Abelar knocks down the triple. (10-5) Gladiators lead in the first 4.5 minutes, but the Diablo Valley Vikings defense getting in between, forcing stop after stop, but the Gladiators somehow wind up with the ball each and every time. This shot goes under, and here's the move from Hector, driving, right hand, yes! Splitting, kicking from the corner. He lost the handle. Has to regain, and it's Nuhu now. Driving baseline, 1-on-2. Had some contact, tipped out, no call. Here goes 1-on-1 down the other way. Jaden Rivera with the left hand. Gets the finish and one. Jaden Rivera, the sophomore, showing he can push through the contact. Foul goes on Malik Edwards. And you see that going around the outside. Edwards swiping away, hacking at the ball, but it results in a foul. And the free throw bounces out, tipped out to the three-point line, and sticking with it is Makayo Mims. Driving back underneath, nearly got called for a travel, but the 3, no good. Stays alive, throws it away, and it's going to the Vikings. The drive inside, easy off the glass. Joaquin Oropeza. Oropeza, one of the 5 sophomores for the Vikings. Only 4 played last year. Oropeza not being one of those. This one will be last touched by number 24, Nico Kiefer. A good call by the official. Kiefer not agreeing. Nuhu goes to the bench for the Vikings. Replacing him is Elijah Keys, and here's an offensive foul. That's the first of the night for the Gladiators. And Kiefer heads to the bench for the Vikings. Gladiators keeping up their full court pressure. Vikings with some easy ball movement. Oropeza back with it. Had an easy dribble drive on his last possession. Pass over the top. Keys, top of the arc. Now this 3. Yes! Ben Tellez. Can see why the Diablo Valley College Vikings shoot that 3 ball often. It's because they get left open and they're good at it. Chabot can't get away with this travel as they turn it over once more. 14-10, the Gladiators look to pull away, but the Vikings had a different plan, and they continue that plan now with Elijah Keys underneath, getting an easy deuce. Now calling out a play for the first time, the Gladiators with Lorenzo Abelar. Calling out this one, gets a screen behind. Abelar now double teamed, gets rid of it. Top of the arc, triple, answers right back. Jaden Rivera now with 5 points and forces the timeout from the sideline. The Vikings want to talk about this as it's now a 17-12 score. And here's that 3 from Rivera. Wide open, 3, good.
Broadcast of Chabot College basketball is brought to you by Chabot College Athletics, American Asphalt. The NCS TV Summer Sleepaway Basketball Camp. Now enrolling 3 weeks to choose from. Go to norcalsportstv.com/camp for all the details. The 5th Annual All NorCal Games, the largest all-star event on the West Coast, returns April 16th to Las Positas College in Livermore. For more information, go to norcalsportstv.com/ANG.
Chabot College Gladiators 17, Diablo Valley College Vikings 12. It's only a 5-point difference, but the Vikings allowed a wide open three, and Jaden Rivera took advantage, knocked it down. Rivera now has 5 points with that. David Hector, who was big in the last game with 10 points, has 7 today already through 7 minutes. And Lorenzo Abelar knocking down a 3 as well. Only 4 scores for the Gladiators. DJ Howard's the other who got a shot up early in the first half. But then for Diablo, they're moving the ball a little bit more. Only 12 points, but they have 4 different scorers as well. So with 2 less shots, they're spreading that ball more, which is exactly what Coach told us. He wants to move that ball and get it going. Vikings with great ball movement here. Wide open 3 from the corner. This one breaks off the front, goes weak side. Back under control of the Vikings. Deep 2 ball through the net. Joaquin Orpiza. He has 4. Abelar on the move. Kick to the corner. Thought about it, but the Gladiators not liking their 3 ball currently. Abelar back on the move. Gets a screen from behind. Drives in. And I don't think that one was tipped, but he did come up way short. Malik Edwards, he lost the handle, back diving on it. Oh, and this one's going to go the other way. An interesting situation. Sometimes the referees, despite what happens, will give the ball to that offensive team just because he might get knocked over and pushed out of bounds. It's not necessarily a foul. You just want to keep those guys playing on the court, get that ball going the correct way. Gladiators with another failed possession. Joaquin Orpiza moving down, controlling. Edwards has to be careful with that type of slide screen. His shot no good. Back to the wing. Deep 3 ball. That one from Curryland. He'll try it again. No, fakes. Goes inside off the glass. Won't get the roll. The Gladiators allowing a few shots for the Vikings, especially from 3-point land. Can't let them take advantage of that. Vikings will get ready to send back in their starters, Grace and Nuhu, along with Kiefer. This 3, Gladiators won't get the bounce. And on the rebound is number 34, Kyle Howey. The drive, count the basket, and the foul. Joaquin Orpiza. He's got it here and will take his first trip to the free throw line. And here's another full team substitution for the Gladiators. And the Vikings will wait a minute before sending out their 3-man crew. Actually, they will send out 2 now and then 1 for the shooter in a moment. Edwards among the group, sent to the sideline. And Orpiza connects on his free throw. He's the leading scorer of the Vikings with 7. 17-17, they've tied it up. A run of 5 for the Vikings. And if the Gladiators lose the lead or have another turnover here, might see that timeout. This is going to stay here. I think this goes on Nuhu. And it does. So Nuhu has 2 fouls on him. 10 minutes into the first half, and Nuhu right in, right out. At this level in the game, there's no giving breaks. If you foul, you foul, and that's how it is, and the referee showing that today. Here's another one. This is on Romeo Traylor. That's Traylor's first. And now the Gladiators finally inbound without a foul. Handoff to David Hector. Exactly who you want the ball to be with. And here's another foul, but this time it's offensive. And it goes on DJ Howard, the big man. (17-17). The Gladiators pick up another turnover after the offensive foul. And now the Vikings have a chance to go up. Looks like some sort of foul on the Vikings there, as well as the offensive foul afterwards. So Winbush got a free throw. He put it through, but now it's a Viking ball. We'll check with that at the half and let you know when we come back for the second. But the Gladiators have an advantage now by 1. From the wing, one-on-one, Winbush, hands behind the back, making sure he's not fouling, staying in front of Joaquin Orpiza. Doing a great job. This three, no, won't go. Battles in and battles out. Winbush calls for it back. He wants that one-on-one with Orpiza again. Says, I can defend and I can do offensively too. Let's dance. Back underneath in the paint. Turnaround Jay won't go. Winbush back in control. He has the one-on-one. Teammates leaving him alone, but Orpiza does not. And Winbush a little frustrated with the offense, not running the play how it's supposed to go. And there is the travel. DJ Howard doesn't like the call. But you got to know where your feet are moving. Referee's looking for that, so if he calls it, he's going to know. Orpiza has a different defender now. Malik Edwards pulls up for three. Yes! The three-point striking Vikings. And here is another foul in transition. A lot of starters are on the court for both teams, and you'd hate to see the players that make the biggest difference go out early, especially in the first half. Nice crossover dribble by David Hector. He's double teamed, leaves a man underneath. And Kiefer, frustrated with the call, he said he clamped on top of it. It looked like that to me too, but the referee, the official, he was on the backside and didn't see the same thing. Here's that same play. Kiefer, it looked clean to me, but the referee said otherwise, and here's another timeout. With a score of 19-18, you're watching Chabot Gladiator Basketball on NorCal Sports TV.
Broadcast of Chabot College Basketball is brought to you by Chabot College Athletics, American Asphalt, the NCS-TV Summer Sleepaway Basketball Camp. Now enrolling 3 weeks to choose from. Go to norcalsportstv.com/camp for all the details. The 5th Annual All-NorCal Games, the largest all-star event on the West Coast, returns April 16th to Las Positas College in Livermore. For more information, go to norcalsportstv.com/ANG.
Well, the Vikings wanted a moment to talk about their struggles defensively more than offensively. The Vikings have fouled a few times. Great defense. very physical. But it leads to free throws for the Gladiators. And you know, in Kiefer's mind right now, saying, hey, ball don't lie, as David Agunlai misses the first one. Agunlai gets the second, and the Gladiators will push the pressure on full court. (19-19) now, back tied up. And the Vikings want to stun the highly rated Gladiators. 3, Edwards. Oh! In and out, the Heartbreak City. Back underneath to Agunlai. Traveled around. It looked like he took a few extra steps. Puts the team in the lead by 2. Edwards loses. Winbush, steal. 1-on-2, fakes, kicks. 3 on the way. Chabot, no. From behind, trying to hack at it was Elijah Keys. DJ Howard scores his 4th point. Edwards takes flight, high off the glass, gets the basket, and a lot of contact is there as Agunlai picks up the foul. Check this out on the move. Kiefer found Edwards, took 2 dribbles. A lot of contact there, slapping the backboard, and Agunlai trying to figure out what the whistle was blown for. And you have to know at that point. Kamani Grace goes to the sideline for the Vikings as Edwards sent to the free throw line for a little extra gift. Edwards leading scorer in the game with 9 points. 9 of the 23 for his team. And here's an offensive foul away from the ball. Agunlai picks up his 2nd. Back-to-back fouls, 1 offensive, 1 defensive. Vikings have broken this press every single time. Gladiators might catch a break, get that turnover once, but might as well save that energy. And here's a backcourt violation. Do we have a replay on that? No replay. Coach of the Vikings not liking the call, but 2 officials on the court said it was backcourt. But remember the official rule, all 3, both feet and the ball, have to be across half court in order for it to count as a backcourt violation once they come back. Here is Diggy Winbush, top of the arc, trying to set up the play, and for the second time a little frustrated with the lack of movement for the rest of the team. Here's Kiefer on the steal, 1-on-1, caught across the body. There's the foul, and 2 shots coming for Kiefer. That foul goes on Zayden Walker. That's his first, and now Kiefer have a chance to add his first points of the game. And you see the frustration with the Gladiators right there. DJ Howard, who's one of the starting players and someone you expect to run down the court and bring that momentum for the Gladiators, just moseying down the court and letting the rest of the team do the work. But that leads to losses. That leads to more turnovers and better points for the opposing team. So you got to get down there and do the work with the rest of the team. No issue for the Gladiators offensively, getting all 5 down the court. Winbush gives it up last second. Inside, 1-on-1. And a little bit of extracurricular activity. The officials might have to watch for that. We haven't even entered the half yet. It's already getting physical. That was DJ Howard, by the way, who now has 6 points. And Winbush gets sat on. Edwards tosses it back up to Orpiza. This one goes out with a kick ball. Now another substitution. Trailer to the sideline. Haughey in for the Vikings. 25-23. Gladiators lead. Edwards in the corner. Orpeza, who has 7. Great backdoor pass. How he can't get to the backboard and finish off, but it is Orpeza taking the contact underneath. One-on-one against the tall 6'8" TJ Howard, and how he puts it through for 2. Excuse me, that was Orpeza as Winbush gets a roll. Orpeza, kick to Howey. Howey driving on Winbush. Center versus guard, and the guard wins that battle on the baseline, as this one will be blocking foul. That goes on Winbush, the blocking foul. And here's that other play. Winbush caught looking around. Nobody was behind him, so he was able to turn and burn and put that one up and through. David Hector back in the game for the Gladiators. When I was talking to the Vikings coach before the game, he said we want a low-scoring game. Make sure that the Gladiators don't get a lot of shots up and a lot of possessions in general. And right now it seems to be a relatively low score, as Kamani Grace can't get that 15-foot fadeaway. Winbush, 3-ball. Back iron, rebounded by Hector, batted away by Grace. Another 3 opportunity, no. Howey, rebound, pass forward, Edwards now. He gives it up, it's tipped away by Winbush. That'll stop the clock and give a little bit of rest to the Gladiators and allow them to get back defensively. A little bit of hesitation, caught on the baseline, back up to Orpeza. 5 seconds and counting on the shot clock, comes up underneath, shot clock won't reset, but the Gladiators get the rebound anyway. Hector on the move, 1-on-2, 1-on-3, Winbush, top of the arc, yes! Nothing but net for Diggy Winbush. And the timeout called by the Vikings now as Winbush gets his 6th point, and the Vikings defense allow another 3 from the Gladiators. Great job by DJ Howard, making sure no Viking could get to him either.
How was camp for you, Blake?
It was really fun.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of NorCal Sports TV's summer basketball camp?
The atmosphere. Just being out here, feeling close to nature. Like, I woke up in the morning from getting my award for the 6 a.m. practices. I woke up in the morning, I saw 3 deer just pass by. I got a video. It was really cool. And I love the atmosphere. I love the coaches. I love everybody here. Everybody's here to get better. Everybody's here to have fun. And, you know, I like the competitiveness as well. So
5 minutes to play in the first half as the Chabot Gladiators lead the Diablo Valley College Vikings 30-25. The last time these two teams played was back on December 10th, 2021, and Chabot took a 9-point victory, 92-83, and the Gladiators shot 50% from the field, but they also had a very high turnover rating, 20 turnovers throughout the entire game, and also 3rd highest rebounding game of their season last year. But for Diablo Valley, they only had 7 turnovers, which they've already eclipsed today. They were low on assists and only 8 of 26 from three-point land. Now a 30-25 score, down by 5. The Vikings want to continue their three-point abilities as the Gladiators' full-court pressure finally has a chance to make a stop. Now for the Gladiators, Winbush only has 7 points, but he's doing a lot more on the court, assisting players, getting that ball down low, running the plays as a point guard should. I think you have to credit the lead right now to Diggy Winbush of the Gladiators, as how he gets 2 points and possibly a basket interference if that didn't go in by DJ Howard. Winbush back underneath, poked it out, but regained by Howie. This ball batted away by Jaden Rivera. It'll stay Viking ball. Kiefer and Hurtado will come in for the Vikings. And Oropeza, who's now the leading scorer along with Edwards, goes to the bench. Kiefer, very physical player with the ball. Tightly guarded, showing off his handles, trying to get Rivera off his back. 10 seconds and counting on the shot clock. This a great backdoor pass, blocked from the front side. Makayo Mims getting in there, breaking up the play by Howey. Mims fouled by Kiefer. That's going to be a 1-and-1 as Kiefer now picks up his second. Mims able to rattle in the first as Kiefer comes out with his second foul, and they replace him with Rivera. Excuse me, that's Keys. 2 of 2 for Mims on the 1-and-1. Vikings need to refrain from fouling for the rest of the first half, which is 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Not allow the Gladiators to head to that free throw line. Grace gave this one up, trying to find Keys back door. Grace not confident in his scoring abilities. Only averaged 2 points per game last year. Has 2 points in this game. Trying to do more, and Hector gets away with the travel and gets 2 points instead. Hector now has 9. Now the Vikings slowly falling apart in the last 5 minutes. Random turnovers. Howey on that one just lost the grip on the ball. And now a 7-point difference, the largest lead of the night. It belongs to the Gladiators as the Vikings rethink who they have on the court. They'll bring in Jakari Hines-Akil. Three minutes to play in the first now. The Gladiators have a 7-point lead, looks to extend. Mims to Hector. Hector, 3. Rebound Vikings. And now Diablo pushes in transition. Grace lost the handle again. Here we go, one-on-one. Jaden Rivera gets around, blocked from the front side. This one's out of bounds, and a great stop by Jakari Hines-Akil. Jaden Rivera going down on the fast break. Beautiful pass from Hector. The spin. What an amazing defensive play by Hines-Akil. Not a lot of players can do that. Got spun around and still clamped the ball in midair. Now the Gladiators somehow have to play an offensive possession after that stop. And this one, he'll be called for the foul again. This one, another great stop by Akil. Akil not sure what he did wrong there. You could see it in his face. I had a great shot at the ball, saw that go right on top, but I think the face and the reaction of Abelar really sold it for the referees there. Shouldn't be shooting the free throws, but he has a chance at the 1-and-1. This one, once again, ball does not lie, as Abelar couldn't nail the first one. Driving Heinz Akil, called for the offensive foul, and another cell by Abelar. That's going to be the second foul on Heinz Akil. Wow. So for the second time on 2 straight plays, not only is the fouls on Heinz Akil, but Abelar sells it and then gets called for the travel. It's been highly physical in the last 7 minutes. Players getting in the faces of each other, making great stops, and not liking how the game is being played. But with the 34-27 score, 2 minutes left to play in the first half, we are just getting started. Heinz Akil back with the ball. Abelar trying to clamp down the defense, forces Heinz Akil to pick up, and this one's lost again on the baseline by Kamani Grace. Gladiators liking it, but they're only up by 7. Abelar. Hector, one-on-one against Grace inside. Vikings on the move, 4-on-4. Rest of the team gets there. 3 from the corner. Yes! Ben Tellez, that's his second 3 of the night. 6 points and brought the game to a 4-point difference. Gladiators want to answer. They pump fake, goes up, fouled again, and another great sell by the Gladiators, Makayo Mims. And the official on the call here said he didn't swipe down. He was straight up and down, but it was the way his body moved. That goes on Kamani Grace. You see him go straight up and down in line with the basket and then turns his body perpendicular in the air, which is what forced the contact and sends Mims to the free throw line. Gladiators need to do a little bit better from the free throw line, especially in the 1-and-1 situations. This one, Mims automatically gets 2 chances, but they've had a few 1-and-1s and haven't taken advantage of the free shots. Mims, all 3 points coming from the free throw line himself. Jaden Rivera gets called for another one. Under a minute to play in the first half. It's a 5-point game. And Vinny Hurtado will have a chance to knock down a few points before the half. Vikings will go a big man play in the final minute as they send Jakari Heinz Akil to the sideline along with Elijah Keys. And now Pawilos Habtom for the Gladiators in for Rivera, who just picked up a foul. Two of 2 for Vinny Hurtado after he was fouled by Rivera. Now Hector going against Hurtado. Kicks to the corner. 3. No. Gets his own rebound. Kicks it out. Fakes to Hector. Back to Hector. Great defensive stops back and forth, and how he frustrated with the call again. The Vikings cannot catch a break inside the paint. They're going up against noticeably bigger players, height-wise and strength-wise. But how he does a great job. You see that block from behind. That was out of his hands. Had to have been a body call by the official. But now Hector has 2 from the free throw line. Joaquin Oropeza comes back in the game with Malik Edwards. They have 18 points combined, 9 for each player. Want to finish this first half strong. They're down by 4 currently, but Hector has another from the free throw line. And he connects, rattled that in. The Gladiators got to be careful, not going to delay a game call after that. Nine-second differential between shot and game clock. Vikings can hold as long as possible. Their defense has done really well. And the Gladiators will be forced to get a shot up quicker, but Howhey puts it right in off the glass after an easy pass. Howhey, that's 4 points. 15 seconds and counting, no shot clock. Abelar holding, guarding is Oropeza. Calls from the corner, coming across is Nick Tumlin. Inside, an offensive foul goes the other way. The arm comes across, and that's on Lorenzo Abelar. Now 2.8 seconds. The Vikings have to inbound from the baseline on the opposite end of the court. Gets it in, 2 seconds now, down the sideline, gets it off in time. And this one won't go, but at the end of one in the first 20 minutes, it's only a 1-possession difference. 37 Gladiators, 34 Vikings, back with the second half in just a few minutes.
Broadcast of Chabot College basketball is brought to you by Chabot College Athletics, American Asphalt, the NCS TV Summer Sleepaway Basketball Camp,
Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. We want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho care for life.
You drove all the way up from Los Angeles.
From
we
Los
just heard that.
Angeles.
What made you put Miles Little into the camp?
Well, you know, we were looking for an overnight camp that would really help develop his sort of independence. And this looked like a beautiful setting for the kids, and also really foster his independence, meet new people. And I want to say one of the best things about this camp, this particular camp, is the ability to see the games live streamed on YouTube. It allows you to not be at camp, but also still participate in that particular part of camp. And so I thought that was really amazing. The announcers were great. The angles, the instant replay, it really made the kids feel special.
Would you bring Miles Little back up to camp?
For sure, 100%. And we're bringing friends. I think one of the wonderful things that I saw when I came to pick him up is how collegial, supportive the older boys are with the younger boys. And I think that is really heartening for me, because that's how I want my boy to be when he grows up. And so I think that he has some really great examples of really kind people on and off the court here.
This broadcast of Chabot College basketball is brought to you by Chabot College Athletics, American Asphalt, the NCS TV Summer Sleepaway Basketball Camp,
Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, Ortho Care for Life.
Broadcast of Chabot College basketball is brought to you by Chabot College Athletics, American Asphalt, the NCS TV Summer Sleepaway Basketball Camp,
At Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho care for life.
The Diablo Valley College Vikings trying to stun the Chabot College Gladiators as they start the second half of what is only the second game of the season for both of these teams. When we look at the Gladiators through the first 20 minutes, Diggy Winbush, he only has 6 points, but he's leading in everything else. He's assisting the team. He's creating open shots, and that's why Diggy Winbush is probably the most important player to have on the court if you're the Gladiators. Along with him, David Hector, the sophomore player that transferred from City College. He has 11 points already when he had 10 points yesterday through the entire game. So David Hector, if the Gladiators pull out to a large lead, pay attention to him specifically, along with Makayo Mims, who has 3 free throws for him. And there's Winbush getting a block off the start against Nuhu. And now Hector underneath, blocked from behind. And they're going to call the foul again. They got him on the forearm. And that gets placed on Joaquin Oropeza. And for the Vikings, in that first half, you have Malik Edwards, who had 9 points. Joaquin Oropeza, who had 9 points. Ben Tellez had 6 points through 2 threes. And then Hauhi, down low, the big man, he had 4 points and did a lot defensively as well. He got caught on a foul that he didn't think was a foul. I didn't necessarily think it was a foul either, but it all depends on where the referee is standing at that moment. And that's been kind of a struggle for the Vikings. It looks like they're getting clean plays from exactly where I'm sitting at least. It looks like they're getting clean blocks and clean stops, clean steals, but the officials say otherwise, and that's all that matters. The officials make the calls. That's why they're here. And sometimes, if you're just in that wrong angle, you're going to get called for that foul, whether it's clean or not, as Agunlai getting his 5th point of the night. Gladiators, whatever they said in the locker room, got heated, I guess, because not only does Agunlay get points, but he also gets a block against Kamani Grace. Joaquin Oropeza calls out the play for the Vikings. Agunlay with a huge block, and now here's Edwards, a deep 2-ball. Shot won't go, but Edwards will go to the free throw line as the foul is placed on DJ Howard. That's his 2nd. Now Malik Edwards, the free throw line. He only hit 1 in the first half, and he has a chance at 2 right now. He's just inside that 3-point line, and he misses the first. Through the first 20 minutes as well, it was a fairly close game. Obviously, 3 points was the difference, but when you look at how many shots were made, free throws, good call by the official there. Agunlay got the hand up on it, hit the scoreboard, and then the Vikings will go back underneath with it after it was last touched by Agunlay. But when you look at how many points were made, 13 for each team baskets were made through the first 20 minutes. And both teams also had 3 3-pointers. What it came down to was the free throws. 5 of 7 for the Vikings, which was a pretty decent shooting percentage from 15 feet out. But then, on the other hand, 8 of 12 for the Gladiators. So that's where that extra 3 points came from. Other than that, it's been very, very good shooting-wise as Winbush goes down to the ground. Officials let it go, and the Vikings come away with it. Officials letting a little bit more play out here as this one, a blocking foul. He's inside the restricted area, and Kamani Grace goes shooting at the free throw line. We'll watch this one more time. Grace got around the primary defender, and his feet looked inside the lines, and he'll be shooting 2. Coach wanted to see a little bit more from him today. He only has 2 points. And count it for 3 after the first free throw. Now a substitution for Agun La'ai. In his place is Ben Tellez. Excuse me, that's Mateo Hamilton. And Grace will shoot his second free throw. 1 of 2 from the free throw line for Grace. Hamilton, fresh into the game, goes for 3. And the Vikings push into the corner. It's Grace. He gives it up. Oropeza down the baseline, kicks to Nuhu. 15-footer won't go. Back up, and that one hits the scoreboard again, that shot clock. And it goes the other way this time for the Gladiators. Winbush calls out the play. He has a one-on-one at the top against Ben Tellez. Oh, and a foul will be called on Oropeza. That's his 3rd. Once again, it's just that positioning from the ref. We had a good look at it there, and Oropeza knew it was clean, and that's why he was just pointing the other way, trying to get the official to think otherwise about who was last touched on. But Oropeza, the last thing he thought was that it was going to be a foul. Oropeza now offensively trying to continue his streak while he still has the chance before coach takes him out. Nuhu, rebound, spins, kick out, now corner, Tellez. His 3rd 3 won't go. Winbush bumps into the body, kicks out to Hector. Looked like he got away with the travel as this one's last touched by Hamilton. Gladiators with the full court press. They've only made a stop once with that pressure, and it was just because a Viking player had an extra foot behind the line and got called for the backcourt violation. Tellez, now he has his 3rd 3. They got it back to him with the pass from Grace, and Tellez now in the second half has a 3. 3, answering back, got it. And there is the timeout from the Gladiator bench. A score of 45-38. It's still a close one in Hayward.
At Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, ortho care for life. At Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, we want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine, ortho care for life.
The Gladiators call this timeout. They are up by 7 points. The Vikings have kept it close all game long. They've been caught with a few fouls that they didn't think they were worthy of. I didn't necessarily think so either, but it goes both ways. Sometimes the officials can call some fouls and not the others because they see what is happening. And here's an offensive foul on Nuhu. That's his 3rd. He has to be careful. He is a very physical player. Makes big stops, gets good plays in the paint. But 3 fouls takes him out, and Keys comes in for him. The drive inside and a foul underneath. This will be free throws for the Gladiators. This one is on Tellez. That's his second. At the half, it was a 37-34 score. And since Chabot has added 9 points and only 4 points for the Vikings, they're being outscored early. The Gladiators get some points while the clock isn't moving. Count it 2, in fact, and now that's 10 points in 4 minutes for the Gladiators. Looks like Chabot's full court pressure is now starting to work a little bit better. Oropeza, who's still on the court, 3 fouls, 2 away from being sidelined for the rest of the game. And Nuhu has actually stayed in. Keys came in for another Viking, and this one fouled from behind. And a technical foul assessed and count it for 2. We'll see if this is a double technical on one player or if it's one for each. So one technical foul on the Gladiators and one on the Vikings. Officials say they offset, so there will be no shots. But the Vikings get the ball on the sideline because that was the original call. So here's Howhey, who just enters the game for the Vikings and sends Nuhu to the bench. Nuhu was one of the players who got the technical foul. Now the Vikings, after that heated exchange, look to score with 5 on the shot clock. Howhey picks up 3 to shoot. Oropeza forced to release, and it fails to hit the rim. Winbush on his knees at midcourt. Bumped into Howhey, and Howhey, who just entered, goes back to the bench. Him and Winbush collided. Winbush stays there, but Howhey, a little bump to the head, goes right back out. And now Winbush will be sent to the bench by the official. Looks like he might have a little blood. Force him to get cleaned up before heading back out onto the court. In his place will be number 24, Nick Tumlin, getting his first minutes in the game today. Tumlin awaiting in the corner. Defense playing off him quite a bit. Here's a crossover by Hector. Beautiful move. Sets up Tumlin. 3. Yes! Nick Tumlin fresh into the game. Fresh with a 3. (50-38), a 12-point lead. A big one for the Gladiators. And the defense staying strong. Kiefer pushes out. Spins around. Tellez. Oh, an offensive foul. Tomlin draws it. And Tellez, frustrated along with the rest of the Viking bench. We'll watch this one again in fast motion. It may seem like a foul. And here's a timeout by the Vikings. I didn't think this was even close. In fact, I thought it was defensive. Oh, that should have been defensive, but the officials say otherwise. Tellez will pick up his 3rd foul, and the Vikings frustrated with all the penalty calls, but we'll have more of this game in just a moment. the Vikings with another offensive foul that looked to be the other way. We have the replay, and we'll watch it one more time. But Tellez picks up his third penalty, his third foul. But you watch number 24, Nick Tumlin for the Gladiators, obviously moving. Nothing was even set, and that's a clear blocking penalty. That's a clear blocking foul. But the Vikings, it's been like that all night for them, and you have to give them props, only being at a 12-point difference with calls happening like that left and right. The Gladiators have it the same way, though. They're getting called for fouls the same way, so does it even out in the end? I mean, I guess we'll find out in about 14 minutes if the Vikings can come back and make this close again. At the half, it was only a 3-point difference, but the Gladiators stepped up their game and their physicality. And here's another call that's going to come underneath the basket in favor of the Gladiators. That one drove through, and I believe they caught Joaquin Oropeza. And they did. If we could watch that one more time. Oropeza picks up his fourth there. But watch this. Oropeza's down on the baseline. He just takes a last-second swat at the ball. And that's what they got the foul on. Oropeza not really paying attention, as that's his fourth. He had 9 points in the first half and is yet to score in the second. Three, Edwards, no. Gladiators want more fast-moving, get back on fast breaks. Underneath, flicks out at the feet. And this one taken away by Kamani Grace. They'll slow it down. Corner, Tellez won't go. And Tellez back on defense, but he also has to be careful with 3 fouls. Abelar swings to Hector, guarded by Oropeza. One-on-one, shows the crossover skills, splits the defense, lost the ball, takes another dribble, and there is another foul. Officials let go Hector, allow him to take that other dribble and not give him the traveling violation because they said it was knocked out of his hands. And then Hector gets tangled up with the arms of Kamani Grace in company of the Vikings. Now Hector, his last 3 points have come from the free throw line. He has 4 made, count it 5 after that, and 13 total points. Oropeza, Grace, and Keys to the bench. And Hector misses the second, 1 of 2 on this trip to the line. Vinny Hurtado back in the game. He had 2 of 2 from the free throw line earlier, but that's the extent of his scoring. Hurtado now with it on the right wing, moving to Edwards. Abelar screened by Nuhu. Tellez driving, ball taken away, and the officials saying it was clamped. Abelar behind the back pass, too fancy. They regain control. Tumlin to the corner. 3 on the way. Looks good. Is good. Count it. Makayo Mims. That's his second of the night in 9 points in total. The Vikings now allowing the play calling to affect their game. Play after play, turnover after turnover. Officials let go the contact. And now it sends us to a break with the 56-38 score.
Broadcast of Chabot College basketball is brought to you by Chabot College Athletics, American Asphalt, the NCS TV Summer Sleepaway Basketball Camp,
56-38, the Gladiators lead the Diablo Valley College Vikings. The second game of the season for both teams, and the Vikings have a wonderful team out there. Multiple scores with 9 points. Edwards, Oropeza, and Telez have 9 points apiece, which is leading the entire team. Grace only has 3 points, one of those coming from the free throw line. This one, still a lot of time left to play, and the Gladiators have picked up their physicality in this second half and have been to the free throw line quite a bit, as here is a foul away from the ball. Nick Tumlin picks one up. And Diggy Winbush, who went out of the game earlier after a collision with Howhey, will come in, and Tumlin to the bench, who just picked up his first. Telez pushed from behind by Winbush. That's his second. Eight fouls on the Vikings and only 6 on the Gladiators. A lot of free throws coming in the second half, just with the amount of fouls in general, as Winbush catches a fast break, wraps it around to Abelar. He dribbles underneath, gets away with the travel, and you heard it from the crowd, and there's the wraparound of Edwards by Makayo Mims. One team already in the bonus, that's the Gladiators, and one away for the Vikings to be there as well. Backdoor pass, Kiefer, the reverse! Nico Kiefer, his first field goal. Highly defensive player, making stop after stop, but he just gets that basket there as this one inside, counted for a deep 2. Now it's a 20-point difference. It really got away from the Vikings, but no difference in their play. Offensive and defensive, it's the same. Edwards reels this in. And that Edwards quick release jump shot, he's good at it. He's made quite a bit through the 30 minutes of gameplay. And it allows defenders to create contact and send him to the free throw line, but not a lot biting. Full team substitution for the Vikings. And in for the first time is Lorenzo Pardo. Vikings now pick up the full court press. Winbush up court. That was a close one. And now Winbush has time to set up. Abelar drives, lost it from the corner. It's Rivera. Bounce pass underneath, one-on-one. Guard versus forward, and the guard wins it. Oropeza. Mismatch down low. Winbush goes straight up and down like he should. And Elijah Keys smooths with the finish. Crossover, no shot. This one's on the ground, on the reach. Romeo Traylor, that's his second foul. Watch this again, the crossover. Got away, split the defense, and Traylor reaching in. Caught a piece of that arm, and it looked like Elijah Keys was hit in the face as well, while Makayo Mims was trying to finish. Despite the foul being on the ground, the Gladiators are in the bonus. So he has a 1-and-1, and he connects on the first. And he won't get the second with a bad bounce. Oropeza flings it to Howhey. Prado over the top. Keys, 1-on-2, finishes. Keys has tripled his amount of scoring from the first half. 3 on the way. Gladiators, nothing but air. Oropeza from coast to coast. Tipped out by Winbush. That'll stay here with the Vikings. Ten minutes through the second half. It was a 20-point game. And the Vikings inching their way back with Elijah Keys, who has now made it a 15-point game. Winbush trapped top court. This one nearly intercepted. Ball comes out and another foul on the ground. The Vikings benched the coaching staff and the 5 on the court don't know what to do as the officials keep calling them for 50-50 plays. And now that is Oropeza, who fouls out of the game. On this. He had one take foul early on in the game. And Oropeza finishes with 9 points and 5 fouls. And there's Oropeza saying, ball don't lie. He said it in the first half quite a few times as the Gladiators neglect to make free throws when it matters the most. Winbush on the drive and an easy right-hand finish over Yannick Anderson. And the timeout called by the Gladiators. Have they now retaken the lead big with a score of 64-46, 18 points positive for the Gladiators.
Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. We want you to get your swing back, get your ride back, get your sprint back. With our top-to-toe orthopedic care throughout the Bay Area, we want you to get your life back. Golden State Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho care for life.
American Asphalt paving the planet. Those roads just looked really good. That's why I'm giving them an extra mention. So we definitely need that in California, that extra paving of the roads, make it a little bit smoother and maybe a little bit smoother gameplay for these teams. As Chabot, they're up by 18, but the play has been sloppy in most of the second half. Foul after foul, and now the Vikings out of the timeout look to take advantage of that play. And there's a block. TJ Howard. Jakari Hines Akil went up, and DJ Howard answers back, sending it to the hardwood. Protect the paint, DJ Howard. Another block. Hines Akil back underneath. Wrap this one around, and not enough power to get it over Howard that time. Howard inside, and another foul. Yannick Anderson, that's his first. Vikings saying, hey, they can block us on one side, but we can't do it on the other. Howard goes 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Vikings, great way to break that full court press all the way down. Bodied underneath. And nothing doing for the Vikings. Winbush finds an open man. 3 on the way. Delivers! Signed, sealed, delivered. 69-46. Gladiators roll. The dish underneath. Caught, bounced, good. And one more coming for Elijah Keys. Elijah Keys only had one made basket in the first 20. And now he has 8 points through 9.5 minutes in the second half. Nuhu, fresh back in the game. He has 3 fouls and still showing that physicality. It's in his blood. Pass over the top. DJ Howard receives the pass, blocked from behind by Nuhu, and that's going to be his 4th. Actually, they're saying that's 5 on Nuhu. Clean on the ball, but the official has to be calling it on the body. It's the only explanation in the end. Howard goes 1 of 2 this time. Hurtado hit the deck trying to rebound that and called for a carry is Winbush. Hurtado flick to Keys, back out, 3 on the way, no. Malik Edwards airballs that 3 attempt, the oop, and the finish on the lay-in from Jaden Rivera. Hurtado gets fouled by Winbush. That's his 3rd. Caught on the push, and both teams in the bonus, which leaves Hurtado shooting. Now with both teams in the bonus, Abelar coming in from the Gladiators, but with both teams in the bonus in nearly 8 minutes left to play, the score might seem heavy, but this is where the Vikings need to take advantage of the free throws. Not send the Gladiators to the line, but just get themselves there, finish at the rack, get those fouls, and get free points without the clock moving. That is what's going to get the Vikings back in the game as Hurtado goes 1 of 2. And this goes back for the Vikings. It's exactly what they need. Clock stops again. They get to reset. 72-49. 23 points differentiate the teams. But like I said, that stopped clock and those points, when it happens, is going to be the biggest factor. Abelar getting worked by Hurtado. Edwards, 3 ball. No. Ooh, Abelar gets away with the travel, and the finish won't go by Jaden Rivera. Rebound by Keys. Edwards has Hurtado on the left wing. Moves on Abelar. Abelar pokes it out cleanly. This one moves up to Rivera. Pass is overthrown, barely kept alive. 3 from the wing. Oh my goodness! The Gladiators knock it down. A sloppy play, but a beautiful finish. And here goes the Vikings. Kiefer barely keeps it inside the lines. Edwards. Too close defense by Abelar. Has to be careful with the foul, and miscommunication from number 21, Yenny Andrea, and Edwards leads to a turnover. And here is that 3, barely kept alive and left wide open as the 3 is drained. And another technical foul is assessed. I think this one goes on Abelar. Lorenzo Pardo shooting 2 for the technical foul. Must have missed something during the small break. So that is the third technical foul in the game. We had a little scuffle in the first half nearing the end as the players getting heated towards each other. And now one here on the Gladiators. (75-51). It may seem out of reach for the Vikings, but they don't give up. And we've seen crazier things happen as Hector buries the triple. 16 points for David Hector. Tellez moving around, gets in front of the defender. Haughey, triple, can't answer back. Offensive rebound to Joe Scully. Pardo. Haughey against Howard. Off the top corner, hitting the head while he does it. Drive, triple teamed, Winbush, looks good, is good! Driving in, nearly blocked from behind, and they have to be careful slapping that backboard and not catching a piece of the ball. Basket interference, technical fouls, whatever you want to call. And another three, Jaden Rivera. It's a three fest for the Gladiators late in the second half. Pardo, double teamed. Scully. Winbush moves up. Backdoor pass, wrap around, doesn't get the roll. Haughey the last to touch it. And the Vikings gonna get this call. An interesting call by the official. Clearly last touched by Haughey. The Vikings get a break. And here they go on the move again. Winbush behind the back pass and a beautiful finish. Well-designed play. And great heads up by each and every player of the Gladiators. Tellez underneath. Gets into Scully. And a little bit too much muscle as he tried to power it up. Winbush from the corner. Another three on the way. Comes up short. Pardo has Scully up court. Defense gets there in time. Resets in the corner. Moving around. Tellez to Pardo. The three. 86-55. 31 points now as Rivera won't get another three. Too strong. Own rebound. Goes up strong with the left hand. Timeout called by the Gladiators as they go up now by 33 points, and it all belongs in the second half. Rivera doesn't get this one. Bounces off the back iron, tipped back by Micah Allen, and a nice, easy left-handed layup to finish it off.
The way up from Los Angeles,
From
we
Los
just
Angeles.
heard that. What made you put Miles Little into the camp?
Well, you know, we were looking for an overnight camp that would really help develop his sort of independence. And this looked like a beautiful setting for the kids, and also really foster his independence, meet new people. And I want to say one of the best things about this camp, this particular camp, is the ability to see the games live streamed on YouTube. It allows you to not be at camp, but also still participate in that particular part of camp. And so I thought that was really amazing.
At the end of the first half, we mentioned all these odd and weird calls from the officials, whether it was going to affect the game or not in the end. And obviously, just by the score itself, 33 points, a referee, an official cannot make that happen. The Gladiator basketball team, obviously the better one here, as Tellez knocks down his 4th three of the game. But Diablo Valley, they have a lot going for them. The offense and defense, they've played with these guys for most of the time. It's just the second half was all Gladiators. As Hector, who has 16 points and leads the game with those, will go back to the free throw line with 3.5 remaining in the second. Rivera will come out, and Tumlin will go in for the shooter once he is done. And into the game for the Gladiators as well as Terrence Kraft, the sophomore player. It's the first time we've seen him in the game. Drive all the way down by Scully, and he gets the right-handed float up and in. Zayden Walker, second time entering the game. It's the point guard. Flings to the corner, 3 on the way. Breaks off the back iron, and Tumlin reels in a rebound. Winbush back on the move with the left hand, finishes at the rack with ease. 92 points for the Gladiators, exactly the mark that they hit last time these two teams played. Keys slips out of the hands on the pass to Vinny Andrea. Andrea now puts up a shot that comes up short, and this will be a push on Terrence Kraft. And with that, more free throws for Pardo. No, excuse me, Keys. Keys goes 2 of 2. Walker picked up the dribble. Calling for it in the corner again. Defense able to get there and called for the carry. Shot won't go. Carry comes before it, and it stays at a 30-point game. Scully calling for the one-on-one, and Tumlin gets called for the hack. Scully gets his first. Most of these players on the court now are secondary players coming off the bench, and they're playing just as hard as those starters did throughout the entire game because they're vying for more minutes and possibly a starter position. And here goes a call on Scully. Scully saying he was wrapping around. He was going straight up with his arms, and he showed it at the end. But Tumlin forcing some contact on Scully, and now Scully coming to the bench saying, hey, this is what happened, but the coaches, they saw it too. Tumlin goes 0 of 2, but he fights for the rebound and gets it back for the Gladiators. Walker now inside 2 minutes in the game. Flicks it out. The three. Allen, no. Allen pushes in. A good job by Romeo Traylor jumping back on that ball, but I think his foot was on the baseline, which keeps it with the Gladiators in the end. Allen doesn't want to give up the ball. Finally does to Terrence Kraft, and Kraft can't do it with the left. Traylor finds the wide open Pardo. No. Back underneath, draws some contact, no whistle. Scully, shot blocked by Tumlin. Vikings stay with it in the paint, kick it back out. Pardo to Scully. Great back and forth. Gets him off, and Traylor, the three, no. The supreme ball movement of the Vikings. They just can't get that shot to fall in the end, which led to the demise of this. With a score of 92-63 entering the final minute, very safe to say that the Gladiators have won this one with relative ease. And now Micah Allen will be at the free throw line once more. Both teams entered the bonus 10 minutes through the second half. In a mix of made free throws and defensive efforts, the Gladiators have put this one in the fridge and will have a 2-0 record heading into their next game tomorrow versus Alameda, which will be right here on NorCal Sports TV. You can tune in, and if you don't want to miss it, then you can subscribe to NorCal Sports TV, like the video, and also hit that notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button so that you can be notified whenever we upload and when we are live. Join the rest of the 12.5 thousand people in Northern California and all around the world for Northern California Athletics. Brought to you by the best with replays, live action, commentators, and multiple camera angles. NorCal Sports TV. Now the final 26 seconds, 2-second differential between shot and game clock. The Gladiators have a chance to run a few more plays. And a solid move by Zayden Walker. Showed off the handle. Put that ball up to float and drop. Now the final 10 seconds will lead to a turnover. And the Gladiators want another shot, and this one goes in. Thomas Girma finishes the game with that shot going down. Defense nearly blocked it from behind. But in the end, with a score of 100, they're going to count that as a three. 100-63. We'll see it again from a different angle. The entire bench calling to shoot it. Keys was coming up close behind. But Thomas Girma finishes with the final 3 points. It was a tight game to start. It was 37-34 at the half, but the Gladiators showed up in the second half after the talking to by Coach. And now tomorrow, November 5th, against Alameda, that's where the Gladiators will be on NorCal Sports TV. And also, Diablo Valley will play Shasta live at Chabot College. Make your way out here if you can. If not, join us on NorCal Sports TV. I'm Levi Flores for my producer, Jason Green, and the rest of our NorCal Sports TV crew. Thank you for joining us today from Chabot.